are you?
Not yet, Dark Knight.
For Arkham fans, this was the moment they had all been waiting for. The final chapter in Rocksteady's Batman series has finally come to an end. It took 3 original games and 1 spin-off prequel, but the love for Arkham Asylum Beyond has been mostly infectious through accessible gameplay mechanics, engaging narratives, and the built-from-the-ground-up immersion that really made you feel like the Dark Knight. Arkham Knight is a game ready to put Batman to rest though. He's been through a lot and all that hard work has to lead to something. The question is, does Arkham Knight succeed in giving Bruce Wayne the final huzzah he deserves, or is this the title to trip upon its own arrogance?
If you're lying, I'll break the other one. The other one?
A few years have passed from Arkham City, and initially, Gotham seems to be at peace. Through the eyes of a city cop though, we cleverly experience the terror weaponized by Scarecrow, one of Batman's main adversaries, until the entire 3 main islands of the dark and brooding city are evacuated by his threats of mass mind-damaging genocide. It is there that Batman hits the streets running, gliding and driving his one-man war on the injustices that have stained the lives of Gotham's innocents. But this time, things aren't as simple. The overarching narrative of Arkham Knight consists of one main topic: who is the man behind the mysterious titular name in this adventure, and why does he hate Batman so much, and at what lengths will Bruce be pushed when it comes to stopping him?
You're not going anywhere.
What's interesting to observe is just how professional and calm Batman is portrayed throughout the entire ordeal. Even though he is for the most part fighting every villain by himself, he seems to have everything under control, and it's only under scripted circumstances that this trend is undone.
The city's overrun. We don't stand a chance.
Stay here. I'll send someone to pick you up.
What are you doing?
Evening the odds.
It gives us an analysis of a hero that has reached his prime, and physically has nothing left to improve on. As the story continues though, we begin to learn more about Batman's inner workings and faults, be it his relationship with the partially tight-knit Bat family, and how far he'll go to try keeping them safe, even when he outwardly fails. We learn that Batman, though a champion the city needs, is deep down a broken and paranoid man. It allows us to respect Rocksteady's take on this version of Batman's life, and also helps us to achieve a new level of respect for a man with no superpowers, but seems to accomplish the unthinkable. For the most part, the tale is enjoyable. If anything, this is a game where its journey succeeds over its conclusion, and where, like the recent Witcher 3, we see a game's side missions successfully portray an overall narrative win for the Batman's final outing.
What are you doing?
No! You can't do this!
What's more is Arkham Knight's constant nods to previous adaptations and lore, from Bruce Timm's animated epic to even some of Batman's greatest published graphic novels. Nearly everything is used here to push the last stand of the Caped Crusader to a resounding conclusion, with only its ultimate finale suffering from a number of loose ends and bits of unfinished business. It's an epic quest though, with the stakes raised to around a tense 9 rating, and that's really good for a superhero series that's been left undefeated even to this day. As always, Batman's Arkham series is drenched in fun and easy to access content. The hand-to-hand combat is still satisfying as ever, and just like its Predator situations, is able to improve and add additional features that makes the whole thing feel more fresh this time around. In previous games, Batman always felt a little clumsy when utilising gadgets mid-fight, but the refinement of making the majority of his weapons special combo attacks this time around means that he has more AoE-style defences at his disposal, along with stealth sections incorporating the ability to take down enemies in the style of the popular inverted attack pretty much anywhere. Spatial awareness also becomes a much bigger factor in fights as well because of the increased enemy numbers. If players feel low on combo specials or just outgooned altogether, they can now incorporate actual environmental takedowns, with Batman slamming and dropping enemies into electrical appliances for an additional incapacitation. Even more is Arkham Knight's integration of a fear takedown initiation, which allows Batman to line up unsuspecting enemies and steamroll them through a slow-mo domino effect. The sequence is easily one of Batman's best features, and even after the 50th go, it really never gets old. Beyond this is the new character fighting system, where when paired with a sidekick, allows players to switch on the fly between Batman or say Nightwing or Catwoman, or even wait and be given an incredibly satisfying co-op finishing move that allows the character switch to be even more awesome than intended. Missing though is a complete set of actual boss fights, which is saddening seeing as Arkham Origins did its boss encounters quite well, but Rocksteady seems to abandon them altogether in giving faster free-flowing story progression without singular villain interruptions. The elephant in the room though comes in turn with the Dark Knight's Batmobile, that seeing as Gotham's main islands are now explorable means that you need this rocket-propelled chariot to get around much faster. What I truly loved was that while this is Rocksteady's first attempt at a dedicated driving experience, it feels terrifically fine-tuned, with its cruise mode handling like a well-tamed beast. Its alternate battle mode is just as cool, with tank combat giving players a nice new addition and mixes up the already recycled fighting and stealth sections. Its only real downside is the previously mentioned lack of boss fights, where instead of a proper one-to-one confrontation, we see constant use of already seen tank battles that don't feel special but instead rushed and underfought. This is remedied a little through Edward Nygma's Riddler challenges, where completing Riddler trophy collections doesn't feel monotonous anymore, thanks to the variety of platform, puzzle and driving challenges that he sets you throughout the adventure. This of course also leads to a final confrontation that surprisingly becomes one of Arkham Knight's only boss encounters. It's a little weird, but at least we're getting something.
It was perfect! My perfect victory!
Progression in any mission though obviously contributes to Batman's ever-growing upgrade system, and while previous games had a number of throwaway upgrades overshadowed by the core abilities, Arkham Knight provides a selection of really beneficial skill trees that shows more emphasis on gadget love, and of course building up the newly introduced Batmobile. Outside of the main story is of course the challenge maps, that mixes up a selection of Horde survival challenges, Predator time trials, and extreme difficulty Riddler races, that also allows friends to compete in implemented leaderboards. The overall variety in actual challenge feels held back this time around though, with what made Arkham Asylum and City's version so great, kind of missing that spark we're so used to seeing. With that comes a lack of additional character maps too, even though paid DLC costumes for separate characters seems to be up for grabs for some reason. It gives a hint that the Arkham series is going in the way of the modern DLC hub, and that's not what we want to see within this franchise. Finally, we have to talk about the presentation, and by golly, Arkham Knight pulls out all the aces. Gotham City, for example, looks incredibly detailed, with hard-hitting rain dripping off the walls and forcing neon lights to bleed through its liquid shards. Batman and all of his respective side characters all feel equally loved as well, and everything just screams this generation of modern visuals. It truly is a treat for the eyes, that sure is let down by a number of screen tearing and rendering issues later on in the game, but for the most part it's quite unnoticeable, and shows that this current generation of consoles is capable of achieving wonders. With open world games, it shouldn't be surprising that a few little glitches and bugs may pop up unexpectedly. To be fair, I only came across the ones you see here, and that's pretty good in my book. Voice work is also just as perfect as initial entries in the series. Kevin Conroy dons the mantle of Batman with the vocal destiny he was born to do, while Troy Baker gives his usual all when displaying the pain and frustration spoken through Arkham Knight's mask. Another special character and unique actor returns as well, and to be honest outdoes all previous outings that they have brought to the series, allowing everything from the character portrayals to go off with a resounding bang. Arkham Knight is the game Batman deserved to end on. It lets its guard down a little too quickly though through its arrogant 100% finale, but gives fans the journey they have been waiting for, thanks to meaty and equally fun side content, combat, and a beautiful world to do it all in. For this reason, Proxy Playthroughs gives Arkham Knight a much deserved gold muffin. But what do you think of Arkham Knight? Proxy would love to know, but until next time, ciao.